Hello, this is Rodrigo Pena. I'm finalizing my project for diversity for my human resource management class. Basically, I chose option B, which was watch two movies and elaborate on my opinion and how it has affected my daily life. Out of the list of movies, I chose The Great Debaters and The Miracle Worker. The Great Debaters is a movie about a debate coach, Melvin B. Tolson, in the 1930s, who was one of the historical black colleges that actually first debated Harvard University and actually beat Harvard University, which was very insightful. The second movie was The Miracle Worker, which was about Anne Sullivan, who taught and provided help to Helen Keller, which was a blind and deaf child, and she actually taught her and was a teacher for the rest of her life. Um, when it comes to learning from these movies, what I learned is that I wasn't aware of attorneys and debate programs before the civil rights movement in the 1960s, and to see how prominent how African American education did flourish in the 1930s, even though there was extreme prejudice at the time. Um, Not only that, but the fact that these people who debated Harvard University came and became well renowned and world renowned activists for the civil rights movement really was touching, and I'm very grateful to see this movie. And when it comes to The Miracle Worker, I wasn't aware of teaching techniques for deaf and blind children, and this was very insightful when it came to that matter, because I don't think disabled people should be treated differently from anybody else. They're human just the same, and although they learn differently, they can understand, they can communicate in different ways. They should be treated as regular people. Um, when it comes to impacting me, I have to say this movie taught me not to judge a book by its cover, and not to judge a person or think a person is less than what you are based on the color of their skin or any physical impairment that they might have. Now, I did do some research when it came to disabled people. There are 56.7 million people in the United States as of the 2010 census, and 19% of the population were disabled in 2010. So 56.7 million people are disabled. 19 That means that's 19% of the population. The report shows that 41% of those between the ages of 21 to 64 with any disability were employed. So 41% of disabled people from 21 to 64 were employed in 2010, compared to 79% of those with no disability. Among people at age 15 to 64 with severe disabilities, 10 to 8% experienced persistent poverty. The same was true for 4.9% of those with non-severe disabilities and 3.8% of those with no disability. The probability of having a severe disability is only 1 in 20 for those 15 to 24, while those in are 1 in 4 for those 65 to 69. Now, when it comes to my research, I did find several programs that do help the employment of disabled and impaired citizens. There is the Employers Assistance and Resource Network on Disability Inclusion, Job Accommodation Network, LEAD Center, National Collaborative on Workforce and Disability for Youth, Partnership on Employment and Accessibility Technology, and all this information is listed on dol.gov. Now, when it comes to if I were to become disabled, and how would I go about, and how would I handle it? Now, I believe if I would become disabled, I mean, it would be very discouraging, but um, you have to do what you have to do, and I would want to be an example for everyone. I would want to show that regardless of my impairment, regardless of my disability, I can do things that other people can as well, or other people who don't have a disability can. So I will not allow it to hinder my success. Now, this experience watching these two movies has really impacted me. Reason being because I really didn't know how disabled people would you know hurdle their impairments, and this has impacted me, and I sure will appreciate more people who are disabled and the things they do. Now, when it comes to this experience, and if I were a manager and I would recruit, or I would try to, bring in people who are disabled, I would encourage it. Reason being because it, it, the U.S. requires a diverse environment. Now, when it comes to disabled people and disabled and impaired people, team members, I would encourage a. Reason being because they have a different stance on doing things, and I believe everybody should take a piece of everybody's different views and make it into something that'll help overall. So yes, I would recruit and help manage people with impairments or disabilities. Besides that, I really want to thank you for your time, and I hope I get an A for this. Thank you.